Well, guys, we have got some bad weather outside today, so we are not going to be able to go run the boats, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is spend some time in here in the boat room, and we're going to work on replacing the rudder for the Dominator. Since the last time it was out, I tweaked the bracket here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. You can kind of see how it's leaning a little bit that way. I had tried to basically put a screwdriver through here and then grab this end with a pair of channel locks and twist it back, because it was actually twisted and bent over, which made the prop actually come in contact with the rudder. You see that? I had that brand new $60 prop and it barely put those little scuffs on there. So luckily it didn't hurt the prop, like literally at all. You can't even tell on the prop where it hit it. So what we're gonna do, this is the stock bracket that came on the Dominator, and you can tell that it's a different grade of aluminum than this rudder here. So OSE sells this, I believe it's a TFL rudder. They also sell just the blade. So I had actually bought just the blade and it fit the stock bracket. Somebody else put this on their Dominator too, and they didn't like how wide it was. Probably the width of the blade is what caused this to tweak over when I had that 60-mile-an-hour crash. But this bracket here that they sell it with is pretty much the same length. I think its only difference is the stock is 82 millimeters and this one's 85 as far as length from here to here. So we're going to go ahead, take the rudder off. While we have the rudder off, and you know, we're going to replace it, but while we have it off, we're going to go ahead and do something. These, I believe, are either 2 or 2.5 millimeter bolts on the trim tabs. Well, 2 of them have stripped out, the aluminum has. So I'm going to go ahead and use my tap set. We're going to drill these out. We're going to drill them all out. And we're going to upgrade them to the next size larger bolt and nut, to where I won't have that issue anymore, hopefully. Because once we drill them out, I don't know, I guess I could go bigger than that, but it gets to the point where if it strips out again, you just replace, you know, the trim tab brackets right here. But we're going to take the rudder off. We're going to do that, and what we're also going to do, we're going to take these turn fins. Now the turn fins, you notice how they've got it sharp here, but then it stops. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take these off, and I'm going to sharpen that edge a little bit further up, because the trim tabs need to go down further. But I noticed when this meets the water's riding surface, it starts to spray up like a stream of water straight up. So that's just drag. So I want to go ahead and extend this down to where I don't get that drag. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get it started taking apart, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a bit. So I got everything taken out the back of the Dominator. See, I got all my screws taken out, I got the rudder bracket off and all that. I wanted to kind of show you this. So here is the new rudder and the new bracket. See how clean that is? We're going to come over here and we'll look at the old bracket. Look what they did. I don't understand why they did what they did here, but they cut it. You can tell. Look at that. They cut it to make something fit. And what I believe is they cut it to make that boot fit right there, because it didn't want to fit properly. So that's just kind of crazy. But this is the flex cable that originally came in the Impulse 32, and I'm running it in the Dominator. So this is the stock cable. You can tell, I don't know if the camera will zoom in on that, you can tell like the thickness of the braid on the stock cable versus how thick the aftermarket one is. And what I really want to do, since I'm running the TFL strut and I can bring this strut tube out, I can probably bring it out another inch. I want to see if I can bring the strut tube out far enough to where the blade of the prop becomes further than the blade of the rudder. So I have an upgraded Impulse 32 shaft I could run in the Dominator, but I also have this cable here that I could cut, and basically I could cut it like, you know, that much longer, and then I'll have 2 cables. I'll have a backup one for my Impulse, and then I'll have another one here for the Dominator. But that's just kind of my thoughts on the matter. Now, while I've got this off, I've got all these out, I'm going to go ahead, I've got it over here. Went ahead and ordered this off eBay not too long ago. It's the Dubro tap and drill set metric. So this gives you all of your proper metric drill bits and your proper tabs. So I believe what we're going to be using is this 3mm tab here. Correction, we're going to be using the 4mm. The current one is 3mm, so this is the setup that we got to use. And if we compare the two, this is going to be the bolt that we use, and this is going to be the one that came out. So same length, larger diameter. Now what I have to do is I have to take my drill this drill bit, and then we'll take the little tap set and we'll tap each one of these aluminum little manifold prong things here. We'll be good to go. Trim tabs are now complete. New upgraded bolts, nice and thick. Went ahead, drilled them out and tapped them. Got lock nuts on the bottom. We are good to go. Now I got the rudder all done. Luckily I didn't have to go in here and cut like the original rudder. What I had to do, there was this little like loop, this ring on the end of the boot that made it too large for it to go through. I think if they just used like a smaller through hole and made it like a brass tube, it would have been easier. But I just had to chop off the little piece on the end of it. It's like a retainer. So I just used some super glue and super glued that boot onto that piece. And then it fit. So it sure beats sitting there and grinding the end of that to accommodate the boot. Now this is a 47mm prop. And what I'm trying to accommodate for, I don't want the prop to interfere with the rudder. So that was the reason for moving it out, was to where I could gain room for that. And see, I still have enough thread here to where what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my drive dog off here and I'm going to rotate it around, and I'm going to move forward just one like width of the grub screw. And I'm going to put another grub screw mark on the back side to where I can actually move my drive dog back just another, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch or whatever you would want to call that, to where it would accommodate even now more room for the prop to be out further. Because I got one more prop I want to test. So let's see here. I have an Octura. Here it is. This is my largest prop. This is an Octura 648. And I've honestly never found anything I could run it on because of the total amount of pitch that occurs on this prop. Yeah, look at that. It clears it just fine right there. Yeah, that's a big boy prop. Big boy prop. I probably need, you know, a 1600 or a 1350 kV motor if I'm going to push that prop. But yeah, it seems to clear. Seems to clear just fine. And even like this isn't really a high rake prop. So I think if I went over here to say a 44mm high rake prop, the angle of the prop itself is going to come out, and it's going to be far, yeah, definitely far enough away. I mean, hell, I can fit my pinky in between that gap. So that's going to be pretty good. Pretty good. I like that. Cool. All right. Now, next thing we got to do, I'm going to hook up my rudder linkage arm, and I have already taken the liberty to see the blade here. I went ahead and extended up the sharpness of the edge of it to where it doesn't deadhead right there on the water. I need to get my turn fins lower, and I needed that edge. So now I don't have to run them all the way up here. I can now run them down to this point here, and they'll pivot if I hit anything. Because before, I had it like that, and it was sitting and hitting on the hull. So if I hit anything, it was going to, you know, break off or break into the hull. Now I can actually move it down and get a little bit of pivoting action, and then it's not going to plow the water right here on the edge. So I still got to do it to this side. All right, well, I got the Dominator all finished up. So what we're going to do, we're going to just take it outside for a quick rip in the pond and see how it goes. I've got some batteries I need to discharge, so we're just going to take it out and see how it handles. I did something really stupid. So I had my batteries charging like this, and I had the leads flipped and the balancing leads. So 1 was charging 2 and 2 was charging 1. And I got out of the shower and I was like, man, my battery should have been charged by now. Oh my God, I'm so lucky. They were chilling at 4.42 and it didn't blow up. I got super, super lucky. The charger won't even let me discharge it because it thinks it's a high voltage pack. So even in LiPo mode and high voltage LiPo mode, it won't let me discharge it. So the only little discharge I have is this little discharge button. So slowly it's working. Don't know if it's going to hurt the cells, but as soon as I saw it and noticed it, I went ahead and pulled it down. So I'm going to wait till it gets to 4.2 before we go out and run. All right, we made it out here. There is so much rain that we've had over the last, like, I don't know, 24 hours. The pond is incredibly full and it's overflowing. Like, normally I step on that log right there in order to get into the water. But today we're just going to throw it in. Got to charge my... Hey, the GPS is working. I'm gonna see how good it runs. I don't think I've ran this prop in a while. I've got the Octora, I think it's the 447 on it right now. X447. I do not have any ability to make any adjustments. I just brought the boat out here. She getting it though. Just cruising. Just cruising. I'm literally cruising at like 1/3 throttle. That's what's so crazy about a big prop. All right, I've done 40 miles an hour. That's not bad. I want to go ahead and bring it over here and make sure I don't have a cooling line that's done popped off. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Do some backup. Let's see if I can go under and jump out. It almost rolled itself over. I was watching a really cool video the other day. And they were showing internal temperatures of a motor. The exterior temperature of a motor, I think, was it the exterior versus the interior. So the interior interior of the motor is actually 70 degrees higher than the exterior can. So if you say your can is, say, 130 degrees on the outside, then it's actually 200 degrees on the inside. And 225 degrees is where your magnets start to degrade and you start losing power out of your motor. So it's kind of crazy, like we see these 170 degree temps, and that means the motor's like 250 degrees inside, 255. That's starting to degrade the quality of the motor. That's why that SVM motor, the SVM motor, it's got a metal, metal covered magnet rotor. It can't exhaust the heat off those magnets. That's why it becomes demagnetized. So crazy. It's a lot to learn. It's a whole lot to learn. I think if you ran like races, you'd want to run it like 80%, because 100% wide open for 4 minutes, I don't know if any motor could actually handle that. She's running really good though. She's hauling ass. Like, oh my God, she's flying. That was killer. What an awesome run. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it in. We'll pull the tape off. I don't like leaving my SRD batteries charged for more than 24 hours, so I had to discharge them. So we'll go ahead, we'll bring it back over here. We'll open it up, and we'll check that motor temp. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up. Oh shit, we got smoke. Damn, that's no good. I thought I was giving it the beans. What is smoking? May have been oil, because I had oil on everything from all the work I was doing. That motor's super hot. Yikes, yeah, the motor's 154 degrees. See, like I was telling you, man, when you start getting it hot, they don't like it. That's not like scalding hot either, but the inside of that motor is probably really hot. Let's see if I can get a shot inside that motor. Yeah, see. Doesn't really shoot exactly where the laser is. But see, it's that big ass prop. It's that 447. These high kV motors just don't like pushing, you know, large props. Just thought I'd try it. Batteries are at 112, ESC 102, wires are at 109. So yeah, the old motor didn't like it. Oh yeah, she's hot. She's hot. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and run some water through it and cool it down. Yeah, wow, it's been like, I don't know, 90 seconds. I ran a bottle of water through it, just feeding it through the cooling port and the end of the motor. It just cools it down that fast. I think that's a really good idea. The smartest thing I ever did was get a squirt bottle. All you gotta do is just pop off one of these lines, hook up your squirt bottle, squeeze fresh water through it, and cool that damn can down. Probably the best thing that they could have done to it. Not bad, not bad. Definitely wouldn't want to see it any higher than that, you know. I was just talking about kind of like 140 is the max I want to see. We just got like 165 and we got smoke out of it because I think what it is the wires start to like degrade on the inside. It starts melting, you know, this stuff here. And I believe that's kind of what we were seeing. Also, when I was in there working, I had dropped 3-in-1 oil on the end of my bearings. And a lot of times that's what I think happens. It's like every time I've ever oiled my engine, you know, oiled my motor, I've always gotten smoke after. You know, granted, yes, it got hot, but I've always gotten smoke after I oiled it. When I lifted it up, it didn't smell like the typical electrical smell, you know? So, who knows? But the motor still's got hellacious amounts of power. I just think the 47mm prop's just way too big for it. But I wanted to try it. Other than that, I actually think it ran pretty good. This thing loves a 42mm prop. So I'm going to leave a 42-16 prop on it. I think that's fine for what it is. And I don't have any overheating issues with that. So I've got a 42-16 2-blade and a 40-16 3-blade. And I think that's where I'm just going to leave it at for now. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. Thank y'all for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Peace.